Hello there, my name is Louis Wieland, and for the last 30 years I've published the official relocation guides on the city of Atlanta that are distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. The magazines are in all of the real estate brokerage firms. They are in the First Multiple Listing Service stores, which are three in different parts of the city. East is Duluth, and then in Sandy Springs, and then in Kennesaw. We email the magazines out to the realtors every week for their distribution to their clients who are searching for information about the city as they relocate. And those clients can be residential clients or commercial clients. We provide information for both business slash commercial and residential home and business buyers and leasing clients. The magazines have information about the city, all the counties and the communities are profiled, as well as information on the schools and hospitals, etc. It's very basic information that's required for people who are moving their home or business here or within the city even. I'm also a commercial realtor with KW Commercial, and would love to help you with any of your real estate needs. I can help you with buy, sell, lease, land or office buildings or apartments. I also cater to investors, so be happy to help you. My website for the magazines is atlantacommunityprofiles.com, and on that site you'll also find a lot of information about the city, and also this show will be on that site as well. We do have our own YouTube channel, and they will be on the YouTube as well under Atlanta Community Profiles. So if you would like to reach me, my email is lou@communityprofiles.net, lou@communityprofiles.net. So we've been kind of partnering with R.S. Andrews for quite a few years now, actually. Heating and Air Conditioning Company as our exclusive partner for heating and air conditioning. And I think this is our third time or second time that we've interviewed Andrew Navarro. Is that the right pronunciation? Navarro, right? Navarro.
It's Navarro.
Navarro. Yeah, you got to roll the
Yes.
R's, right?
You got to roll the R.
And Andrew is the service manager for R.S. Andrews and does a fantastic job there. And he's been over there for 14 years, and he's a mechanical contractor license in both Georgia and South Carolina. He's quite an interesting guy, and he certainly knows the heating and air conditioning business extremely well. R.S. Andrews is, I don't know if you're the largest in the industry in Atlanta, but probably. I think if you're not, you're one of the top two.
We're up there.
Yeah, so you've been at the company for 14 years, but the company's been around for quite a while. Give us a little background on the company itself, if you would.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've been proudly serving the Atlanta and greater metro Atlanta area since 1968. So we've been here for a long time. We're not going anywhere. Over the years, we've managed to add more and more trades up underneath our roof. So we're a one-stop shop for pretty much any service that you need inside of the home or the commercial building. Um, we do serve all of the greater metro Atlanta area. So anywhere from Peachtree City on up to Buford, over to South Canton area, down to Conyers. I mean, we cover it all.
You have a business in South Carolina too, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a shop down there for the past few years, and that's doing really good. We offer two services down there. We offer both HVAC, both residential and commercial, as well as plumbing. Our Atlanta offices, we offer a lot more. So we've got electrical, we've got duct cleaning, we've got insulation, plumbing. One second. Plumbing, electrical, duct cleaning, insulation, both commercial and residential on all of it. maintenance. And all of our trades are trade specific. So we have our plumbing departments led by a master plumber, our HVAC departments led by, mechanically licensed contractor myself. Our electrical department's run by a master electrician, and we've also got a really big property management department as well.
So that's an interesting topic, the property management. We're going to get into that a little bit later because that is important in commercial, and I work in multifamily area, and that's a key factor there. Tell me about the business, the plumbing business, and what kind of services do you provide in that field?
For plumbing?
Yes.
So on our plumbing side, the only thing that we don't do is we don't work with septic tanks, so we don't pump those out. But anything else that you have, both residential and commercial on the plumbing side, we can do. We can do all tankless heaters, multiple heaters. We can run new sewer lines, new main water feeds. We do backflow testing for commercial properties. Pretty much anything that you need plumbing wise, we can come out and take care of.
So let's just do residential first. Tell us a little bit about everything we need to know about heating and air conditioning. I mean, it is. Listen to me. I know it's intimidating. I'm not very mechanically inclined, and I know I'm not the only one out there who's not mechanically inclined. But I do know that today we're broadcasting this show, and it's below freezing. So let's start with that. What do we do in temperatures like this?
Well, there's several things. Depending on what part of town you're in and how your home's set up. If you're plumbing, like when it gets really this cold, it doesn't hurt to drain, to run your taps a little bit at night when it gets really down and cold, keep water moving. So helps prevent your pipes from freezing. As far as that goes. And on your mechanical side for HVAC, these are machines. So just like your car, you need to take your car in and have it serviced, find parts that are breaking down or going to break down. Our residential HVAC side, we offer maintenance plans where we come in twice a year, and we go through the entire system top to bottom to make sure everything's functioning correctly. We go through the heating side, of course, in the fall, where we're going through and checking all your gas pressures, your your filters, your capacitors, your amperages in all of your motors, your heat rise, your gas pressures, all these things we go through. And then in the spring, we go through the air conditioning side of thing and all your refrigerant pressures, your compressor amperages, capacitors, contactors. We like to get in and identify what's going to fail and get it replaced or fixed before it does fail. Because typically, like today, you said it's going to be down and, it's going to be cold overnight, down in the 17s. And with these kind of temperatures, when a system is going to fail is going to be when it's working the hardest. That's when you need it the most, when it's cold like this. So we like to get in beforehand and find any components that are going to fail. And that's a maintenance plan that we have to offer for our residential clients. We do offer it commercially as well. When it comes to the rest of your home, plumbing, electrical, we do recommend every couple of years having your electrical panel checked, having our electricians come in, check and tighten all the breakers, go through, make sure your panels are up to code, your home's grounded properly. We can put in whole home surge arresters, update smoke alarms, CO alarms, all these kind of things our electrical department has to offer. And then plumbing, coming in and making sure that all of your pressure reducing valves are up to code, getting older water heaters out. When it gets down into the teens like this, the incoming water on your home is going to be extremely cold. And because of that, if you've got an older heater, it's going to want to cause it to fail. As soon as we start getting really, really cold groundwater temperatures is when we start finding the most failures in your water heaters in your plumbing system.
This is an interesting question. Because there's a lot of debate about how long should a water heater last anyway. I mean, what's a heads-up sign that it's starting to not be functional?
I'm going to tell you, it depends on what part of the country is and what kind of water you have. In this region, in the Atlanta area, you're going to get about 10 to 12 years out of your water heater before they should be replaced. That's about the average here.
What's the cost to replace a water heater anyway on say a 2,000 square foot house?
It depends on what kind of tank you're going with. the size of the tank, if you're going tankless. I've seen them $2,400, $2,500. But we also, while we're in there, we do need to look at pressure reducing valves in the house. Typically in Atlanta, those last about 12 years. And so those should be updated as well at the same time. So there might be additional costs in there depending on what your needs are per home.
And of course, I'm a customer of RS Andrews, and I do. You guys are great at reminding me when I need help. Since I don't know when I need help, you guys know when I need help better than I do, obviously. So I do receive a phone call from you guys regularly that I need maintenance. Tell us, is it a quarterly program, or tell us about the maintenance program?
Sure. On our commercial side, we will do it quarterly. We can customize a maintenance plan for a commercial property to if you want to do it annually, biannually, or quarterly. We can do all of those things on the commercial side. On the residential side, we're going to have it's going to be twice a year. Once in the spring, and we definitely we send out an auto dialer which calls all of our clients and says, hey, it's time to get your maintenance done. If we don't hear from you, we start calling you. We want to get these maintenances done before you start using the equipment real heavy. For instance, your air conditioning, we really want to get in there and check your refrigerant pressures and your capacitors before you start using the air conditioner real heavy. If you run an air conditioner, for instance, that's low in refrigerant or has a dirty condenser coil, you'll pay 20, 30, 40% more in power than a system that's correctly charged with clean coils. So we like to get in there and get that taken care of early. Same thing when it comes to the fall. We'll start bothering people September, October, saying, hey, let's get your heating system checked out. So that way it's going to have a good season of very efficient use.
And I appreciate those calls because I'm pretty busy, and I don't really pay a lot of attention to how, and how often. And tell us a little bit of how often I need to have attention. So I appreciate those kinds of reminders more than you know. And what about filters? I have some rental property, and I know my tenants don't like changing filters. In fact, they don't. And even though they even say they do, but they don't. And
correct.
But you guys are faithful in calling my tenants and calling me and telling me that they're coming, and I appreciate that. But how often do we need to change the filters realistically?
So you're going to have two different kinds for the most part. You're going to have like a 1-inch pleated filter that should be changed out every 30 to 60 days. And then we can offer like a 5-inch media cleaner, which only needs to be changed out every 10 to 12 months. And if you've got rental properties, what is one of the biggest nuisance calls from your tenants? My AC is not working, my heat's not working. And then you call a service provider out. We come out and find out the filters are plugged up and they haven't been changed in the past 6 months. And it seems to be a big hassle. So what we recommend if you've got a property that you're renting, when you update the equipment, or we can even do it with existing equipment, is I do recommend putting in a 5-inch media cabinet in the system. And then that way you only have to change the filter once a year. And we do that when we come out and do the maintenances. So that way you don't have to worry about your tenants changing them out on time every 30 to 60 days, because as we all know, it just doesn't happen.
What is that anyway? What's it called? I'm going to write that down myself. What is it? A 5-inch? What? I don't know if I even
A
have
5-inch media cleaner. It's just a big box filter. And instead of being 1-inch thick, it's 5 inches thick. And I'm going to tell you, it's one of the best things on the market when it comes to rental properties.
I agree with you. I'm going to definitely check on that myself right after this show and call your guys and see what's they had. Do you keep a record of the service on
Yes,
each of your
yes,
clients
absolutely.
and places? So you can tell people what's been done and what needs to be done and what they could do to improve the quality of their care.
Correct. Usually our technicians on site, once they go through the system and they identify any failing components or any components that are going to fail soon, they'll update you on that. And then they'll give you advice on, what you could do to improve your indoor air quality, improve your humidity levels or decrease your humidity levels. when the ducts need to be cleaned, these kind of things. We tend to want to date water heaters when we're in the home. We want to go through and also look at like your insulation on the house, make sure that you've got properly insulated attics, because your insulation has one of the highest ROIs on the market for any home improvement. So when you go in and add insulation and make it deeper, typically you get that money back within 2 to 3 years, and after that, it's just paying you back. So it's helping reducing your utility costs on your home.
I noticed the air pollution component on your website. Tell us a little bit about people like me who have allergies and what you can do about air pollution in a house.
Sure. And so that's kind of a big topic. Indoor air quality, the tighter and tighter and tighter that we build the homes, the less and less fresh air exchange we have between indoor and outdoor. So your indoor air pollution is actually going to be a lot of times higher than it is outside. So because of that, there's several things that should be done. Is one, you should have your air filtered at a higher rate. So we can do all the way up to, for people who have allergies, for people who want to breathe clean air, we can do all the way up to MERV 16 air cleaners, or we can do electronic air cleaners. Either way, they're both rated for MERV 16, which will remove 97% of airborne particulates down to zero point 0.3 microns. So this is the stuff that you absorb into your lungs that cause upper respiratory irritation, such as asthmas and allergies. If you're not super sensitive and you just want to get cleaner air, we can also put in MERV 13 or MERV 11. Either way, it depends on how clean you want the air. You also have a lot of other things inside of your home, like VOCs. These are volatile organic compounds. Stuff inside of your house that off gas that smells. So new paint, carpet, furniture, the aerosols you spray in your house, cooking odors, all of these kind of things have high VOCs. And we can put in ultraviolet lights that will actually kill, that'll render those VOCs inert. As well as harmful bacteria and viruses that are in the air. We've got a germicidal light that'll also take care of those. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help improve the indoor air quality. And a lot of things that people don't think about is your humidity levels. During the winter, as it gets colder and colder, our houses tend to dry out. And because of that, you need to go through and you need to add moisture to the home to keep furniture from cracking, piano, instruments from drying out and becoming out of tune. Your skin will tend to want to get dry, itchy, sinuses, nosebleeds. All of these things are attributed to dry air in the home during the winter. So we can come in and put in like a steam humidifier that will actually humidify the home during the wintertime to help improve your indoor air quality, make you more comfortable. So there's a lot of things that we can go after inside of a home to improve your quality of life.
Now, these are connected to the system, right? They're connected to the heating and air.
Correct. We actually use the central system inside of your home. And what we'll do is like, for instance, a steam humidifier, for instance, it'll turn on the fan in the system and dump steam into the ductwork so it humidifies the entire home. And these will put up to 22 gallons of moisture in the air a day. The stuff that you buy at like Amazon or Home Depot, these little 1 gallon humidifiers will never keep up with the demand on a home at all. And so the stuff that we put in actually will. It's the same with their air filtration units. What we're doing is we're utilizing the ductwork inside of your home to clean all of the air in the house. So we're pulling all the air through the house, pulling it through the filter, cleaning it, and redistributing it throughout the house. So it improves the entire home's indoor air quality instead of just one little room you might be in.
Speaking of ductwork, how often should one have their ducts cleaned?
I'm going to recommend every 3 to 5 years, personally, from what we've seen here. Now, if you've got a lot of pets or kids that are coming and going, the doors and windows are open a lot. That's pulling in that outdoor air particulates. It might need to be a little bit more often, but on average, about 3 to 5 years, you should have ducts cleaned out. And I'm going to tell you, we've done some duct cleaning that haven't been cleaned out in 12 to 15 years, and the stuff that we pull out of the ducts would just make you cringe. All of the air that you're breathing inside your home is going through your ductwork every single day. And when you get that much contaminants inside of your ductwork, it does not help your breathing. So definitely, I'd say every 3 to 5 years.
And what if you don't? What is the harm?
So what you'll end up doing is anytime you get above 65% relative humidity, you're going to start having growth. algae, mold, bacteria. There's enough moisture in the air to allow this stuff to start growing. Well, when it starts growing, it'll start pollinating. When it pollinates, it'll cross-contaminate. So if you've got dirty ducts, there's potential for that debris that settles in the ducts to start growing and becoming a real health concern. So you'll definitely want to do a true source removal. And the stuff you see online, duct cleaning for $79 and all this other bogus nonsense is just to get your money. It's a gotcha. You really want to have a NADCA certified company come in, and we are, and do a true source duct cleaning removal. It takes us a long time. We remove all the registers, we clean and disinfect all the registers, we clean every single duct line, both supply and return, through the whole system with brushes and HEPA vacuums. And then we'll go through and we'll clean out the blower motor as well as the evaporator coil or the blower wheel. We'll clean that out as well. So we'll go through the system and clean it properly. And it's going to cost you, but in order for it to do it right, in order for it to be done professionally, that's what it takes.
Speaking of cost, does this kind of care extend the life of the system, the heating and air conditioning system, or is it?
I'd say it extends the life of you.
Pardon?
Mind you, I'd say it's more of a health concern for the individual than it would be for the HVAC equipment. You'll see some studies out there that will say it will improve the airflow throughout the house, but I wouldn't say that's the target. What's your health worth? I would say it would be more of the target.
Okay, especially people who are older and have lung issues and breathing issues and allergies. Pretty important component of good health, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Clean ducts and good air filtration, and you can definitely turn a home around. And you'll notice, like during the spring, especially here in Atlanta, where everything outside turns green and yellow, and everybody's coughing and sneezing, and you're sleep and is having a hard time sleeping at night. You don't need to be that way at home. You should be comfortable inside of your home. And having a good air filtration, going to your thermostat, turning it from auto to on, and just letting that air constantly filter. It's amazing how quickly you can change a house around and how good you'll sleep.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. And as I have a lot of allergies, and I appreciate that. So, well, I guess you can save a lot of money on what you spend for this. You may save in medical doctor bills,
Right.
prescription medicine, et cetera, and time off from work, et cetera.
Well, we've helped a lot of just a quick story. We had one family that their son was on breathing treatments every single day coming home. Every single day was on breathing treatments because they had really bad asthma. We came in, updated the air filtration systems inside the home, put in ultraviolet lights. They went from breathing treatments every day to once a week. And it was a dramatic change for that family. I mean, to the point to where they wrote letters, sent them in, and just couldn't talk enough about how it changed their life, how impactful it was to their family, to be able their son to not have such medical treatment, and that was just from just putting in good air filters in the home.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that very well. Both of my brothers have asthma, and they struggle with that a lot. Just switching gears here a little bit, Andrew. As a realtor, I do mostly commercial, but I do residential a little bit for just for friends, pretty much. But they don't actively solicit it. But I will help you if you would like. But what a lot of the people who are watching this, including realtors, need to know this information. Because heating and air conditioning is a very critical component of the overall purchase of a home and the evaluation and the comparison of what this versus another. Tell us a little bit about how you help realtors in helping their clients with the knowledge of the value of the good heating and air conditioning system in the houses that they're looking at. I mean, most people compare houses. They look at many houses in some cases before they pick one. So what kind of advice can you give people, realtors and home buyers and home sellers, to prepare their house for sales and evaluation by buyers for their heating and air conditioning service?
Sure. And so we do this quite a bit. So you're absolutely correct. The heating and air is one of the most expensive components inside the home. And when you have a family that's trying to purchase a home, typically what are they buying? Are they buying a home that they can afford easily, or are they typically trying to purchase the biggest home and maxing out the amount of purchase power they have? Well, they typically go to the far end. I mean, unfortunately. And then when you purchase a home like this, the next thing you know, you've got 10, 15, $20,000 worth of HVAC that needs work in the next year or two. They can't afford it. So it's not a good scenario to put, home buyers in. So we come in and we work with a lot of realtors, and what we do is we charge $99 per system. And what we'll do is you have a home inspection done normally. Well, a home inspector is not going to come in. They're not going to open up the machines. They're not going to go through the actual mechanics of the machines. They're not allowed to. They're not licensed. What we do is we'll come in, and for $99 a system, we'll go through that system. We'll date it. We'll check pressures. We'll go through and advise on the condition of it. To let you know, hey, this needs to be replaced, or this doesn't need to be replaced, or this is what your cost going into it's going to be. Um, we can also do that for both electrical and for plumbing. And our plumbers can come out, do an inspection on the home's plumbing system and advise what that home's going to need, as well as our electricians can come out and look at the electrical. And we've worked with a lot of homeowners that, like you said, they look at multiple homes. We had one client of ours, she 5 homes that we went out and looked at for her. Every single one we came in and did an evaluation. And just to give you an idea, one of the homes she was looking at, she wanted to purchase, but it was going to be over $30,000 between plumbing and HVAC to update the house to where it needed to be. And so she didn't buy it. And we kept going through until she found one that was in good shape and also didn't require all that much investment in the heating and air and plumbing. And that's the one she ultimately purchased. So it's a small investment for what you're getting back. Normally, we come in and do this in your what is that window called? I'm so sorry. Uh, what is that grace period where you can have evaluations done on the home before you
Due
purchase?
diligence?
Yes, thank you. Normally, we come in during the due diligence period and we do these evaluations. And that's where we can uncover, what's going on. And then they can go back to the closing table and say, hey, this work needs to be done. Either you have it done or take this much off the asking price, so we can have it done. And so it gives your buyers another bargaining chip and also to know what they're going into.
So a lot of realtors I know, and I have a great deal of respect for realtors, and they really try to do their very best for clients in most cases and advise people wisely. But, a lot of times a lot of times we rely on the inspection company to tell us what to do. Should we buy it or what we need and other things? So how do you complement, I know you alluded to this a little while ago, but how do you complement what they do in the best interest of the realtor and the home buyer or seller in this case, in many cases?
Sure. And so home inspections are great. They're going in, they're finding cracks in the foundation, they're finding stuff that's not up to code, they're finding roofs that need to be replaced, or, they're going in and looking at the structure, and they're doing a good job with that. Most of the reports I see are pretty thorough and pretty in depth. But when it comes to the mechanical side of things, they're not licensed to open up, diagnose, or work on HVAC equipment at all. And that's where we come in. We are authorized to be able to tear the machine apart, actually evaluate it for wear, tear, age, and efficiency, and then give an in-depth report on what needs to happen to that machine, whether it needs to be replaced, can be kept in place, needs leak searches done, what's our total investment look like in that machine. And so we give you a lot better, plus we can price it. We can actually give you, this is what it's going to cost apple to apples to replace or update this equipment. Having them both done together is really what we've seen work the best. Now, when you're buying a property as is, I mean, that's kind of, that's as is. We can still come in and, give evaluations and pricing, but that sale is going to go through no matter what we come up with.
Well, $99 per system seems pretty reasonable compared to the potential liability of making a bad decision on the purchase of the house. And as you talked about, $30,000 in potential expenses that they might not expect, and then you get into a house and you're barely able to make your payments, and then all of a sudden $30,000 to fix everything. That could be really tragic. So $99 per system, And like you said, I appreciate your saying it too. It is something that you can use for negotiation on the price too, because that can be very powerful
It
negotiating
is. It
point.
is. And you know, and a lot of and our clients that go through it are so thankful for it because they know what they're going into. On that one particular house, they had a main water line that would have had to be replaced from the home to the street. This is for the plumbing side of things, and that there alone was over $20,000 because of the way the home was built, how far it had to go. I mean, it was absolutely crazy, but none of that comes up in a home inspection report. And so it would have been bought sight unseen and unknown until they started having plumbing problems. So, um, yeah, it's a real good thing for the clients.
So it's very advisable that you do this. It should be a part of every inspection because it is. A lot of people look at the house. Oh, I like the kitchen and the bathroom, and I like the color of the
Right.
paint, and the landscaping is nice. But hey, heating and air conditioning is really a critical element in the whole valuation process, and one that I'm sorry to say is not often really. Not many people really attach as much priority to this. Let's put it that way, as we should, and it is essential that we do give you guys a call, help be partners with realtors, and advise them to be sure to do this in the best interest of your clients. Now, our time is running short, but I wanted to cover one key thing too, and I do multifamily investing. I represent a lot of investors in multifamily, and the property management is a key topic in evaluating a property, multifamily, whether we're talking about a quad, a 4-unit building, or on up to a 100-unit complex. Tell us a little bit of how you work with property managers and appraisers and with properties for investors or multi-unit, and even warehouses too, for that matter. Tell us a little bit about, because investors are very interested in this. It's a key decision-making element.
Sure. And we deal a lot with property management, but there's a lot of different elements to it, depending on the structure, like you said. We work with a lot of property management to, we'll say, an existing property. They typically have on-site maintenance personnel, and when they get to a point where they can't get something fixed, they're having trouble, they'll call us out. They'll get one of our service technicians out. We'll do real diagnosis and get it fixed for them. That's on the low level side of things. Then we've got the other side of things where a new property is being built, purchased, or they need to update a current property, and we'll come in and anywhere from 100 to 300 units, we can update all the HVAC or plumbing inside of these facilities, and we work with them real close. So, for instance, we've got one right now we're in the process of that needed both plumbing and HVAC updated. They're purchasing all of the HVAC equipment, but we're installing it for them. And they wanted to split up because of their budget in 2 years. So in 2023, we did a substantial amount of work, but then paused until the 2024 Q1 came up, which we're going to repick back up. So they've got 2 different billing cycles. We've actually got a property management department that on your quads or if you rent, however you're renting out these places, what'll happen is if there's a problem, they'll call us up. We can send someone out. We'll do pictures for address verification. We'll diagnose and take pictures of the problem. And then once we get approval for any kind of repairs, we'll come back to the repairs or do repairs on site if we get approval right then and there. Take pictures of the repairs, upload them as well. So that way, we've got track record of what happened, what took place, what repairs were made and done. So it all depends on what scale. We've got everything from 300 unit places we're working with all the way down to single family. But yeah, we deal with it. We deal with all
Well, thanks very much, Andrew. That's very helpful information. And if you are interested in hearing this show and getting a little bit more of the details of what maybe you missed some of these points, it's on my website, atlantacommunityprofiles.com. And it's on my YouTube channel. It's the same thing, Atlanta Community Profiles. It's a lot of very helpful information that's extremely important in the real estate business. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate your knowledge, and welcome back to the show, and appreciate your time and help to people in my line of work, realtors and their clients.
It's always a pleasure, Lou, and we're here for you anytime you need us.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.